Dear students, today's topic of discussion is adverse drug reaction and pharmacovigilance. In the previous sessions, we have discussed pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. In pharmacokinetic, we study the movement of drug in body. We study what the body does to the drug. While in pharmacodynamic, we discuss the mechanism of action of drug and drug receptors. We study in pharmacodynamics what the drug does to the body. Now in this session we will discuss different type of undesirable effects of drug and the reporting system of adverse drug effects. As the topic has been initiated through WhatsApp group by the topic of phocomelia induced by the very notorious drug that time thalidomide. In the 1950s and 1960s, that drug was culprit to cause seal-like limbs in offsprings whose mother have taken this drug thalidomide for treatment of morning sickness. This drug thalidomide caused phocomelia in nearly about 10 thousands of babies. And out of this figure, around 50% of baby died, and it was a very medical disaster then. With this thalidomide tragedy, all the world became alert of adverse drug reaction and adverse drug effect. And since then, pharmacovigilance means ADR reporting came into the picture. That will be discussed today. So to be start with, we will discuss three terms that are used interchangeably very frequently, but they have different meaning. These three terms are adverse effect, adverse drug reaction, and adverse drug event. So first we will see what is adverse effect. Adverse effect is any undesirable effect of drug administration. Adverse effect means any undesirable or unintended result or consequence of drug administration. It's a broad term. It includes all kind of noxious effect, all kind of undesirable effect of a drug, whether it is very small effect, very small undesirable effect that is trivial, or it is serious or even fatal. All trivial means very small. All kind of undesirable effect of drug are considered in drug effect. But in adverse drug reaction, not the all undesirable effects are counted. In adverse drug reaction, only those undesirable effects are counted which require treatment or decrease in dose or indicate caution in the future use of the same drug. So in the adverse drug reaction, trivial, very small undesirable effects are not counted. For example, any drug that causes slight nausea in the patient, it is an adverse effect. It is a very trivial, but it is not adverse drug reaction because it does not require treatment or decrease in the dose. This nausea, very trivial nausea I am talking about, This will not require treatment or decrease in the dose. Okay, so this is the difference between adverse effect and adverse drug reaction. Now, how the adverse drug event is different from adverse drug reaction? Suppose a patient has taken a drug chlorpheniramine maleate, CPM, chlorpheniramine maleate. This is a first generation antihistaminic drug that causes sedation. The patient feels sleepy because of this drug, chlorpheniramine maleate. And this patient is by profession a driver, and this tablet is taken in the morning. The driver takes the drug tablet CPM, chlorpheniramine maleate, in morning for treatment of any allergy and drives a truck. After 2 to 3 hours, he and his truck meets an accident on the crossroad. What is the reason behind this accident? What is the reason behind this road traffic accident? Maybe the drug may be culprit, because the CPM, chlorpheniramine maleate, causes sedation. The patient feels sleepy. The reason may be different also. Maybe the other person jumped red light. Other reason may be some street animal came in between the road. This may be the reason. So, what is the exact reason for this road accident faced by the truck driver? This will be known only by the analysis of the case. So, until and unless the analysis is not done, this road traffic accident is a adverse drug event, because this adverse drug event has some relation with the drug, but it is not confirmed. That in this case the drug may or may not be involved to cause adverse effect, because this accident has happened after the administration of such type of drug which causes sedation, which causes sleepiness. So this event is adverse drug event because it may have some relation with drug that is not confirmed yet. But when on analysis we come to know this road traffic accident has happened because of the sleepiness of driver only, then we can label the drug is the culprit. The drug has caused this accident. Because of this drug, driver has undergone sleepiness. When on analysis this has happened, this has come to know, then only we can label this adverse drug event to adverse drug reaction. So adverse drug reaction has causal relationship to the drug. Adverse drug reaction is because of only drug. But adverse drug event, it has present during treatment with a medicine, but does not necessarily have a causal means cause, does not have a causal relationship with the treatment. So an adverse drug reaction is an adverse event with a causal link to a drug. In adverse drug reaction, it has been established that that reaction, that event has become only because of drug only. So the relation between adverse drug event and adverse drug reaction is clear in this diagram also. Adverse drug event are a broad term which include adverse drug reaction. In this diagram, the yellow color portion, the whole circle is adverse drug event. Some of the adverse drug event which are because of drug only, these are adverse drug reaction, and the event which are not because of drug have been shown in the remaining area apart from brown area. So all ADRs are ADE, but all ADEs are not ADR. Okay, so we can similarly we can say all ADRs, all adverse drug reactions are adverse effect, but not all adverse effect are ADRs. Okay. So what is the magnitude of the problem of adverse drug reaction? In India, these type of magnitude study are very less. These studies more have been conducted in Western countries, from which the data have been shown. In United States and Canada, adverse drug reaction are the fourth leading cause of death. Worldwide, these are the sixth leading cause of death. Over 1 million Americans suffered from adverse drug reaction in year 2009. It is old data. 1 million means 10 lakh. Not only the figures are important, but money involved that has caused loss of because of adverse reaction is also important. Adverse drug reaction cost 75 to 180 billion US dollars. While 45 billion have been spent on treatment of diabetes, 120 to 150 billion US dollars have been spent on cardiovascular disease, and 130 to 195 billion dollar have been spent on treatment of cancer. So you can say 4 or 5 times money have been spent on management of adverse drug reaction as compared to diabetes. That is very much common. But from that disease, 5 times money have been spent. So as far as number of patients are involved, as far as money is involved, adverse drug reaction are has a significant problem. These adverse drug reaction have been classified into two broad groups: type A reaction and type B reaction. A means augmented and B for bizarre. A for augmented. Augmented means increased. B for bizarre. Bizarre means strange. Type A reaction, these are augmented reaction, means they are produced because of direct extension of pharmacological action of drug. It is because of excessive pharmacological of action of drug. Suppose any antihypertensive drug is taken by the patient, like prazosin. Prazosin is an antihypertensive drug, and it causes hypotension in that patient. It is a augmented means excessive pharmacological action of a drug. So it is a type A reaction. While type B reaction, it is a bizarre, strange reaction. They don't have any relationship to the usual pharmacological effect of a drug. Okay. So their etiology is not known. Their cause cannot be explained by the pharmacological action of a drug. Like penicillin causes hypersensitivity. It is a bizarre reaction because of penicillin. Penicillin is an antimicrobial agent. So this rashes produced by penicillin cannot be explained by its pharmacological action. It cannot be explained by its mechanism of action. So it is a type B reaction. Bizarre. Type A reaction which are because of the excessive pharmacological action of a drug, they are more common. 80% of all EDRs are type A reaction, while type B they are less common because they are more fatal because their etiology is not known, they cannot be explained well, so they are more fatal, they are difficult to predict because their explanation is difficult because their etiology cannot be explained by pharmacological action, so they are difficult to predict, they are not dose related, they are bizarre reaction, so their treatment is difficult, so they prove more fatal. On the other hand, type A reaction are predictable because they are because of the high pharmacological dose. They are dose related, so they are easy to treat as compared to type B. They are avoidable also because we know the pharmacological action of a drug, so we are alert beforehand. Type B reaction include the idiosyncratic reaction and drug allergies. For example, type A reaction hypoglycemia due to insulin. Insulin is given for a patient, for a diabetic patient, for treatment of hyperglycemia. If the insulin dose is increased, hypoglycemia is produced. Paracetamol causes dose related hepatic necrosis, while type B reaction is drug induced rashes is produced, for example, by penicillin. Some drug causes oxidative hemolysis in G6PD deficiency, for example, primaquine. Primaquine is an anti-malarial drug, very common anti-malarial drug, which causes hemolysis in patients who are having glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency. Now we will discuss some more types of adverse effect. One of them is side effect. We very commonly use this term side effect as synonymously as adverse effect, but it is not so. Side effects are not serious. Side effects are not serious, they are expected because of their pharmacological action. They can be predicted from pharmacological action because they are expected. Like atropine. Atropine, as we know, it is an anti-muscarinic drug, anticholinergic drug. It is used as pre-anesthetic medication, and because of its anti-muscarinic action, it causes to dry the mouth. Okay, so as we have discussed adverse effect, adverse drug reaction, side effect. What is the difference between the three terms? Adverse effect is a broad term. It include very common it may be very common, it may be very rare, it may be fatal. But adverse drug reaction are not, it does not include the very common one. But side effect, they are very common, not serious, and they are expected from their pharmacological action. Secondary effect. As the name suggests itself, secondary effect. They are the indirect consequence, indirect result of primary action of a drug. For example, there is a antimicrobial agent tetracycline. Tetracycline is a broad spectrum antimicrobial agent, and because it is a broad spectrum antimicrobial agent, it suppresses the bacterial flora that are present in the intestine. And because the bacteria are inhibited in intestine, this is how they act. But because of suppression of bacteria in gut, super infection may occur. So superinfection may occur because of primary action of inhibition of bacterial flora. So this superinfection is secondary effect. These effects are produced by the pharmacological action of a drug that are secondary. Corticosteroid, they weak host defense mechanism so that latent tuberculosis gets activated. So this latent tuberculosis in this patient is secondary effect of corticosteroid, secondary to weakening of host defense mechanism. One more type of adverse effect is drug dependence and drug addiction. What is the difference between the two terms drug dependence and drug addiction? Suppose a patient is taking morphine. You have heard the term morphine. Morphine is a term that is taken by the patient, taken by a person for addiction, nasha, lat. A patient has taken morphine for prolonged time. It has tendency to cause constipation. So the patient, a person who is taking morphine for prolonged time, when he suddenly stop taking morphine, what happens in that patient? Because of morphine, that person is constipated always, and that person pupil remains myotic. The pupil become narrow. Pinpoint pupil occurs in morphine addicted patient. But when this patient stops taking morphine suddenly, what happens in that patient? The patient develops diarrhea, and the patient pupil become enlarged. Why it is so? Because the patient has taken the morphine for prolonged time, the effect have been produced just reverse of the pharmacological action of the offending drug. The morphine in this patient is the offending drug, and morphine causes constipation and meiosis. But when the morphine has been stopped suddenly, the patient develops just reverse phenomena of the pharmacological action of the offending drug. And these opposites are diarrhea and mydriasis. Because for the these diarrhea and mydriasis are withdrawal symptoms. So what is drug dependence? It is an unaltered physiological it is an altered physiological state produced by repeated administration of a drug which necessitate the continued presence of the drug to maintain the physiological equilibrium. So because of the stoppage of morphine suddenly, the patient developed diarrhea and mydriasis, and to stop this diarrhea and mydriasis, the patient starts again to take morphine. He feels I have the patient develops diarrhea and mydriasis, and to stop this diarrhea and mydriasis, the patient has to take morphine again to maintain the physiological equilibrium. Discontinuation of the drug results in a characteristic withdrawal syndrome. As we have discussed, morphine has withdrawal syndrome of diarrhea and mydriasis. Opioid, alcohol, and benzodiazepine drugs are most common drug to cause drug dependence. Benzodiazepine drugs are sleep-inducing drug. For example, diazepam, alprazolam. Alprazolam is very common benzodiazepine drug to cause sleep induction. The patient has taken the alprazolam for prolonged time, for months, for treatment of insomnia. When the patient stops taking alprazolam, suddenly what happens then? He can't sleep. He can't sleep well. because of the withdrawal syndrome. Because alprazolam is inducing sleep, and when the alprazolam has been stopped, the patient feels insomnia. No sleep is there. So to induce sleep again, the patient starts again taking alprazolam. These are the withdrawal syndrome. Physical dependence, this term was used for drug dependence in old time. Second term is drug addiction. How it is different from the previous term, drug dependence? In drug dependence, body requires the drug, because the body has dependent physically for that drug. But here in drug addiction, the body does not require the drug. Patient psyche, patient mind requires it. The patient psychology has been dependent on the drug. He seeks the drug, he wants the drug. This is addiction. When the individual behavior, that optimal state of well-being is achieved only through the action of the drug. When the individual believes it is not so, he only thinks that the optimal state of well-being is achieved only through the action of the drug. This intensity may vary from desire to craving, to simple desire to craving. And what is reinforcement? Reinforcement is the ability of the drug to produce effect that make the user wish to take it again and to induce drug seeking behavior. This is reinforcement. This is the ability of drug which produces drug seeking behavior, which makes the patient to search for the drug. Where patient will search for the drug, where is the drug? It is searched by the patient. Opioid and cocaines are the drug which causes addiction. Psychological dependence is the old term for drug addiction. One of the type of adverse effect is drug induced diseases. As the name suggests, some of the diseases are caused by drugs. Okay, like aspirin. Aspirin causes peptic ulcer. Peptic ulcer is also caused by corticosteroids. They are worsened, peptic ulcer are worsened by corticosteroid. Antipsychotic drugs, typical antipsychotic drug, which are D2 blocker drug, causes Parkinsonism. Because as you know very well, Parkinsonism is because of the less function of dopamine in basal ganglia. And typical antipsychotic drug which are used in treatment of schizophrenia, they antagonize D2 receptor, they antagonize dopamine receptors. When dopamine receptors are blocked, features of Parkinsonism appear. So Parkinsonism is because of D2 blocker drug, like typical antipsychotic drug used in treatments of schizophrenia. Hepatitis is caused by anti-tubercular drug isoniazid. So the other name for drug induced disease is iatrogenic, that is physician induced disease. They are caused by a drug which persists even after the offending drug has been withdrawn and largely eliminated. One of the drug adverse effect is drug withdrawal reaction. Drug withdrawal reaction we have discussed in drug dependence. When the opioid has been stopped suddenly, the patient develop withdrawal reaction. When the morphine is stopped in patient, the patient develop diarrhea and mydriasis. These are the reverse feature of morphine toxicity. But apart from these drugs, apart from that usually recognized as dependence, the other drug also causes drug withdrawal reaction. For example, Corticosteroids. Corticosteroids are given as a replacement therapy in treatment of acute adrenal insufficiency. In acute adrenal insufficiency, there is a deficiency of corticosteroid because corticosteroids are produced by adrenal cortex. When the adrenal art is not working sufficiently, level of corticosteroid dip down. So in that condition, corticosteroids are given exogenously from outside. But when then corticosteroids are stopped suddenly, the condition acute adrenal insufficiency, it is precipitated. So drug withdrawal reaction are produced mostly in the form of worsening of clinical condition for which the drug was being used. Like in treatment of angina pectoris, beta blocker drugs. Beta blockers drug are given for treatment of angina pectoris. But when the beta blocker drugs are stopped suddenly, when they are stopped suddenly, angina pectoris worsen. Clinical feature deteriorate of angina pectoris. Next example is clonidine. Clonidine is an antihypertensive drug. It is used in old time for treatment of hypertension. What is the main limitation of it? Suppose a patient missed his clonidine tablet. What happens then? What happens then? It is causes withdrawal reaction. The blood pressure shoots up. Hypertension severe. This is the drug withdrawal reaction. Anti-epileptic drug like phenytoin. It is an anti-epileptic drug. When the patient suddenly stop the drug, he has forgotten the drug for prolonged time. What happens then? Epileptic attack appear in the patient because of this withdrawal reaction. So these are the withdrawal reaction. Toxic effect, as the name suggests itself, it is toxic effect because of the excessive pharmacological action of a drug, because of overdose. The effect, adverse effect, as we have discussed yet, they are because of the therapeutic dose. But here the not the therapeutic, they are, this dose is not given for treatment of any disease. This is overdose or prolonged use. High dose is given in the one shot, or the high dose is given for prolonged time. It may be absolute or relative. Absolute, it may be accidental, the patient has accidentally taken the dose, or homicidal, for to kill the another person, or suicidal tendency. It may be relative. For example, what the gentamicin is an antimicrobial from the group of aminoglycoside. Whatever the dose of gentamicin is safe in a normal person, it will not be safe in a person with renal failure. So the patient of renal failure, the patient of renal failure has taken the gentamicin that is normal in the, that is safe in normal person, will cause adverse effect, will cause toxic effect in a person. These effects are predictable and dose related. Now the next adverse effect is teratogenicity. It's very important for your exam point of view and for exam point of view for Viva. Teratogenicity. I think this topic teratogenicity has been discussed at least in brief in your embryology in anatomy. Teratogenicity is capacity of a drug to cause fetal abnormalities. When this drug is administered to the pregnant woman, pregnant mother. When the pregnant mother takes the drug, and this drug causes fetal abnormality. The typical example of teratogenicity, as we have discussed, in the case of thalidomide. Thalidomide in the year of 1950s was taken by the pregnant mother to treat morning sickness. That's a very common feature in first trimester of pregnancy. That drug was used in West Germany and other European country like England. When this drug was taken by pregnant mother, it causes seal-like limbs in a number of patients. In this deformity, what happened? The upper limb and lower limb, they are directly attached to shoulder girdle and pelvic girdle respectively. There is a absence of long bones of upper limb and lower limb. There is absence, or there is a reduced length of humerus, reduced length of radius ulna, there is a reduced length of femur, reduced length and tibia and fibula. So the digits, the fingers are directly attached to the shoulder and pelvic girdle. That is very much clear in this image. You can see here, fingers are attached directly to shoulder girdle. Fingers are directly attached to the pelvic girdle. There is a reduced length of long bones of upper limb and lower limb. Just their limbs are like flippers of seal. There is a long list of teratogenic drugs which include phenytoin, warfarin. As these drugs, phenytoin and warfarin, we have discussed again and again in pharmacokinetic at various sites. One important drug, isotretinoin, that is used very commonly for treatment of acne vulgaris, for pimples. So otherwise there is a long list of teratogenic drugs. As far as teratogenic drugs are concerned, US FDA has classified drugs into 5 different categories. Category A, Category B, Category C, Category D, and Category X. These are the 5 different categories. X means what the alphabet X denote. X means don't give it, don't prescribe it in pregnant woman. Cross, X means cross, don't prescribe it in pregnant woman because these drugs are highly teratogenic. Don't prescribe in pregnant woman. Okay. And category A, these are the A1 drugs. A means most safe drug. As far as teratogenicity is concerned, they are safe in pregnant woman. So category A are the most safe drug, and drug X are contraindicated during pregnancy. So category A drugs, their safety have been proven in humans. Control study have shown no risk to human beings. Okay. There are 4 columns in each category. First column is ample studies to the first that comes in the market. It is studied first in animals, if and then after it has been studied in animals, it is studied in humans, and after their studies in animal and humans, they are come in the market. So first column is ample studies conducted in animals, yes or no. Next column is drug proved safe in animals, yes or no. Third column is ample studies conducted in humans, yes or no. And fourth is drug proved safe in humans, yes or no. So category A drug which are safety have been proven in humans, they are ample studies conducted in animals as well as in humans, and both of the studies they have been proven safe. They will not get teratogenicity at all in animals as well as in humans. While category X drug, so in category X drug, the drug is has been shown it is unsafe. They are teratogenic in humans as well as in animals. There is a correction. In the animals, drug D and X, they are not safe. Drug D and X, they are not safe in animals as well as in humans. Okay, but so drug category X drug are contraindicated during pregnancy. You can see here they are not safe in humans as well as in animals. So both of the category D and drug category D and category X, they are not safe in humans. So what is the difference between the two categories? Category D, the benefits of prescribing this drug are more as compared to risk. But in category X drug, there is no benefit at all. So they are contraindicated, totally contraindicated during pregnancy. In category B drugs, safety proven either in animals or in human. You can see here in the first type of category B drug, the studies are conducted in animals, but they are not safe in animals and they are safe in humans. So they are category B drug. To label any drug to category B, the safety have been proven at least in animal or in human. While category C drug, the studies not have been conducted in human, so their evidences are not enough. So risk cannot be ruled out. You can see here in category C drug, the studies has not been conducted in humans. In animals, they may be conducted or may not be conducted, but humans studied have not been conducted. So these are the category C drugs. This we have discussed. Because evidence of teratogenic potential of drugs keep accumulating, the studies are being conducted, and because of the findings of these studies, the rating, their category of the drugs keep changing. So this FDA grading A, B, C, D and X, it become outdated in many of the cases and its utility is questioned nowadays. So it is therefore it is wise, it is intelligent to avoid all drugs during pregnancy unless compelling reasons exist for their use. So it is better to avoid each and every drug in pregnancy state unless there is a compelling reason exists for their use, regardless of the assigned pregnancy category, because it is not so much reliable. Okay. Now we'll discuss the next class of adverse effect, that is intolerance. Intolerance, as the name suggests, in the patient is not tolerating the drug. That means the low threshold of the individual to adverse drug reaction of the drug. The patient is not tolerating the drug. Not tolerating the drug means the low threshold of the individual. Means the the toxic effect of a drug is appearing in that patient at a lower dose. For example, in some patient, single dose of trifluperazine causes muscular dystonia. Trifluperazine is an antipsychotic drug. It causes muscular dystonia with a single dose in some of the patient. This is intolerance. One type of adverse effect is mutagenicity and carcinogenicity. Mutagenicity means mutation producing ability of a drug. Carcinogenicity means the carcinogenesis to produce cancer, ability of a drug to produce cancer. Different drug causes mutagenicity and carcinogenicity, like anti-cancer drug. On the one hand, anti-cancer drug treat cancer. On the other hand, they also produce cancer. Radioisotope are used in treatment during taking. Radio-opaque dye are used in during X-rays. They are carcinogenic. Estrogen and tobacco, these are the carcinogenic drug. One adverse effect is photosensitivity. Photo means sunlight. Sensitivity. There is an antimicrobial agent, antibiotic drug, damiclocycline. It is a type of tetracycline. When the patient takes damiclocycline, the patient is advised not to go outside the house. Why? Because when the patient goes outside the house, he or she will face sun exposure and he or me feel sunburn. Erythema, rashes may develop because of sun exposure, sunlight exposure. This is photosensitivity. It is a cutaneous reaction. Cutaneous means skin reaction resulting from drug induced sensitization of the skin to ultraviolet radiation. One term is idiosyncrasy. Idiosyncrasy. Idio means no reason known. No reason known. But because the adverse effect for which the no reason is known, what is the reason behind is not known, these reactions are labeled as idiosyncrasies. But with the advent of science, we have known the reason of adverse drug reaction, the reason which were not known before. And the reason for these idiosyncrasy reactions are genetic reasons. These are genetically determined abnormal reactivity to a chemical. The drug interacts with some unique feature of the individual not found in majority of subject. As we have discussed in the type B reaction, bizarre reaction, they are present in the sum of the individual. And why they are appear only in the sum of the individual? Because of their peculiar genetic makeup. For example, barbiturate causes excitement and mental confusion. Okay.